Hi, this is Dana Gardner, Principal Analyst at Inter Arbor Solutions, and you're listening to Briefings Direct. Our next discussion explores how businesses are using the latest digital technologies to reimagine the employee experience and to transform their operations and results. Employee experience isn't just a buzz term. Research shows that engaged employees are happier, more productive, and deliver a superior customer experience, all of which translate into bottom-line results. We're here today to talk about how IT can help deliver a compelling experience that enables employees to work when, where, and how they want, and to perform at their best. Joining me are Adam Jones, Senior Vice President of Strategy and Development, who oversees IT for the Miami Marlins Major League Baseball team and organization. Welcome to Briefings Direct, Adam.
It's a pleasure joining, Dana.
We're also here with Tim Minahan, Executive Vice President of Strategy and Chief Marketing Officer at Citrix. Welcome, Tim.
Dana, thanks for having me.
I'd like to start with you because when it comes to employee experience, Citrix has really been at the forefront of the conversation and the technology shaping it. In fact, I remember covering one of the first press conferences that Citrix had, and this is going back about 30 years, and the solutions were there for people to work remotely, and it seemed crazy at the time, delivering apps over the wire, over the internet. But you're still innovating. You're at it again. About a year ago, you've laid out an aggressive plan to help companies power their way back to better work. So it begs the question, Tim, what's wrong with the way people are working today and the way that employees are experiencing work today?
Yeah, Dana, that's a topic, a top of mind, both for C-level and board members around the globe. We're really entering into this era of a new talent crisis, right? And what's driving it is, number one, there's just too few workers. Demographically, McKinsey estimates, but in the next few years, we'll be short 95 million medium to high skilled workers around the globe. And that's being frustrated by our traditional work models, which tend to organize around hubs. I build an office building, or I build a call center or a manufacturing facility, and I do my best to hire the best talent around that hub, which the talent isn't always located there, right? And the second thing is, as more companies are becoming digital businesses, trying to develop new digital business lines, engage customers through new digital business channels, develop new business revenue, digital business revenue streams, oftentimes the skills that they have on staff they lack these skills. They lack skills to help drive this next level of transformation. And if companies are fortunate enough to identify employees with those skills, there is a huge likelihood that they'll be disengaged at work. In fact, the latest Gallup study finds that globally, 85% of workers are disengaged at work. And a key component of that is they're frustrated with their work environment. We spend a lot of time talking about, vision alignment and career development, and all of that is important. But a key gap that many companies are overlooking is they're creating a frustrating work environment because they're not giving their employees the tools or resources that they need to do their jobs effectively. In fact, all the choice we have around our applications and our devices have actually begun to create noise that distracts us from doing our core jobs in the best way we possibly can.
And is this a case of people being distracted by the interfaces? Is there too much information and overload? Are we not adding enough intelligence to provide a contextual approach? All of the above? How is this really frustrating people, the interface part of it?
Yeah, it is certainly all of the above, Dana. It gets down to, first off, there's just too many applications. Typical enterprise environment, enterprise IT manager is managing over 500 applications, but at the employee level, a typical employee is using more than a dozen applications through the course of their day, and oftentimes needs to traverse 4 or 5 different applications just to get a single business process done. Something as simple as finding the change in a deal status, or even needing to execute a particular transaction. That would be bad enough, except you consider oftentimes we're distracted by utilizing apps that aren't even core to our job. Last time I checked, Dana, neither you nor I nor Adam were hired to spend our day approving expense reports in something like Concur, which is a great application, but it's just not core to my job, or approving performance reviews in Workday, or purchase requests even in Ariba. But certainly that is something that we do, and it distracts from our day. We need to navigate a new application interface. We need to learn a new application that isn't even core to our job. And the last part, to your point around disruption and context switching, today, because we have all these different channels, not just email, but Slack and Teams and all of these applications, finding information consumes a large part of our day. We can't remember where we stored something, or we can't remember the change in that deal status, and we have to spend about 20% of our days switching between all these different contexts just to get the information or insights we need to get our jobs done.
So clearly, too much of a good thing. And IT is actually the organization that has brought that good thing. So in a sense, IT has created this problem.
In part, but yeah, I think employees share a bit of responsibility themselves, right? As an employee myself, I know I'm always pushing IT, hey, this is the one tool we need to do a more effective job at marketing or strategy or what have you. And we keep adding to the top of what we already have. And IT is in a tough position of either needing to say no or needing to find a way to layer on more and more choices, which has that unintended side effect that we just mentioned, which is complexity, which is frustrating today's employee experience.
Now, the IT people have been facing these kinds of complexity issues before, and many times they've come up with solutions to mitigate the complexity. But we also have to remember that you can't give employees absolute freedom. There has to be guardrails. There has to be rules and compliance and regulatory issues addressed. So security and digital freedom are sort of self-regulating, they're balancing. How do you get to the point, Tim, where we can create the balance and give them the right freedom, but not so much that they are at risk?
Yeah, Dana, you're absolutely right. And, we at Citrix firmly believe that this is a problem that needs to be solved, and we're making the investments working with our customers and our partners to go out and solve it. And we believe the right way to solve it is through a digital workspace that unifies everything your employees need to be productive in one unified experience, that wrappers those applications and content which are now available across any device or platform, no matter where you are. So if you're in the office on the corporate network using your laptop, perfect. You have access to the same content and applications you need to do your job as if you were on the train ride home and on your smartphone, or maybe even visiting a friend and need to log on through a web interface, making sure that your work travels with you. Can you work anytime, anywhere? But a workspace, to your point, that's just unified but not secure doesn't fully address the needs of the enterprise. And so the second attribute of what's required for a true digital workspace is it needs to be secure. When you have those applications and content within the workspace, we believe the workspace should wrapper that in a layer of contextual security policies that know who you are, what you typically have access to, how you typically access that. Do you do it through this certain device or that device? And then applies policies when there are anomalies outside of that realm. Maybe you're logging in from someplace different, so we're going to turn off certain capabilities within your applications, such as the ability to download or print or screen capture, and maybe requiring a second layer of authentication if you're logging on from a new device. And so we're really bringing both this idea of employee experience and balancing it with the security that the enterprise needs.
Okay, that sounds very exciting and interesting, and we're seeing more intelligence being brought into this process. We're seeing more integration end-to-end, and we're anticipating the customer experience, and in this case, the user experience, the worker experience. But companies, of course, are looking for productivity, and they're looking for what's going to help their bottom line and their top line. So is there a way of us helping the corporation, the business, understand the benefits of the digital workspace in a business sense? How do we prove that this is the right way to go?
Oh, Dana, you hit the nail on the head. So I mentioned there were three attributes we believe are required for an effective digital workspace. We talked about the first two: unifying everything an employee needs to be productive in one unified experience, securing, ensuring that your applications and content are more secure in the workspace than when natively, and that really organizes your workday, and that's a phenomenal head start. But to your point, we can do better. Building on that foundation, injecting intelligence into the workspace, you can begin to actually help employees work better. You can help employees remove that noise from their day by using things like machine learning, AI, simplified workflows, or what we call micro apps, to really guide an employee through the workday. So the workspace is not just some place they go to launch an application, but it is someplace they go to get work done. So what we've begun doing is providing capabilities that literally reach into your applications, your enterprise applications, and extract out the key insights and the tasks that are very personal to that employee. So when you log into the Workspace, Dana, it would say, hey, Dana, it's time for you to approve that expense report. You don't need to log into the app again. You just need to quickly open a review if you want. You can click approve and move on, saving yourself minutes. And you multiply that throughout the course of the day and how many times you need to do some simple task like that. And we're estimating that you could give an employee back 10 to 20% of their work week. So a day a week of improved productivity. But it's not just about tasks. It's also about insights, making sure that we understand the information you need. Maybe it is that change in deal status and presenting that up to you so you don't need to log into Salesforce and check that dashboard. It's presented to you because the Workspace knows it is of interest to you. And so to your point, this could dramatically improve the overall productivity for an employee, improve their overall experience at work, and by extension, allow them to serve their customers in a much better way because they have the resources and the tools and the information at their fingertips to deliver a superior customer experience.
Yeah, I think we're really entering the age, Tim, where we're letting the machines do what they do best and knowing the difference and allowing people to do what they can do creatively and most productively. So it's an exciting time. Let's look at a use case. The Miami Marlins have got a very sophisticated approach to user experience, and they're not just looking at, of course, their employees. They're looking at the end users of their fan base and across multiple different ways of entertainment and intercepting into the baseball experience. So baseball, in a sense, was hibernating over the winter. The new season, that things are starting up in 2019, and your fans there in Miami getting treated to a world-class experience. Tell me, if you would, Adam, what went into things behind the scenes that allowed you folks in IT to make this happen? What's some of the secret sauce behind the scenes for such a great experience?
Well, the Marlins is a 25-year-old franchise. We find ourselves in build mode coming into 2019. Following a change in ownership and leadership, and we have elevated the standards and vision for the organization. We're becoming a world-class sport entertainment enterprise, and so we're building a next-generation IT infrastructure to enable the 300-plus employees who operate across our lines of business and the various assets of the organization. We're very pleased to have a longtime partner in Citrix to deploy their digital workspace solutions to enable our employees to deliver across the higher standards that we have set.
Is it difficult to create a common technological approach for different types of user experience requirements? I mean, you have fans, you have scouts, you have employees. Seems like there's a lot of different endpoints. How does a common technological approach work under those circumstances?
The diversity within our enterprise necessitates having tools and solutions that have a lot of agility and can be flexible across the various requirements of an organization such as ours. We're operating a very robust baseball enterprise as well as a sophisticated business, and we're looking to scale and engage a very diverse audience. We need to have the resources available to invest and develop talent on the baseball side. So what we have with the Citrix environment is the capability to enable that very diverse set of activities within one environment.
And we've become used to, in our consumer lives, having a sort of seamless segue between different things that we're doing. Are you approaching that same seamless integration when it comes to how people encounter your content across multiple channels? Is there a way for you to present yourselves in such a way that the technology takes over and allows people to feel like they're experiencing the same Miami Marlins services regardless of how they actually interact with your organization?
Like many of our peers, we're looking to establish a more robust, rounded relationship with our fans and the broader community. That means going beyond our home schedule to more of a 365-day relationship with a number of touch points and a variety of content. The mobility of our workforce to get out into the community but not lose productivity is incredibly important as we evolve into more sophisticated and complex set of activities and requirements.
Controlling your content, making sure that you have choices about who gets to see what, and to protect your franchise are all, of course, important. Are you reaching a balance between offering that full experience of interesting content, but at the same time protecting and securing your assets and your franchise as a result?
Absolutely. Security is our highest priority, particularly as we continue to develop more content and more intellectual property. What we have within the Citrix environment is a very robust set of controls with the capability to facilitate fairly broad collaboration among our workforce. So again, we are able to disseminate that content in near real time so that we're creating impactful and timely moments for our fans.
Tim, this sounds to me like a world-class use case for technology, and in Citrix in particular. We've got scale, we've got security, we've got omni-channel, we've got a dynamic group of people who want to interact as much as they can. Why is the Miami Marlins such a powerful and interesting use case from your perspective?
Well, I think that the Marlins, a fantastic example of organization that's been a long-held organization, a world champion organization that is now moving into this digital age. They're really rethinking the fan experience, not just there at the stadium, but in the park, in how they engage with their digital properties, as Adam just indicated, as well as in the community. And really, with Adam and the other leadership there, they're really looking across the board to figure out how does the sport of baseball, the fan experience begin to evolve, and what role does the linkage between that fan experience or customer experience and the employee experience really play into it, and the role that technology plays in connecting the two. And so they're a great example of a customer that is really at the forefront of looking at these new digital channels and how they impact customer relationships and how they impact values for employees as well.
All right, last question, Tim. We've heard, of course, over the past decade or so how data and information is so integral to making a baseball team successful, that it's a data-driven enterprise as much as any. How do you think that the intelligence that you're baking into more of the Citrix products will help make the Miami Marlins baseball team a more intelligent organization? What are the tools behind the intelligent baseball future?
That is an excellent question, Dana. I think a lot of the same intelligence capabilities we're incorporating into the workspace for our other customers around machine learning, around artificial intelligence, around micro apps, to ensure that the Marlins organization, everyone from the front office to the field manager, have the right insights and tasks presented up to them at the right time so that they can deliver the best experience, whether that is recruiting the best talent for the team or whether that is delivering the best experience for the fan. I think we're going to learn a lot, as we always have, from our customers, from the Miami Marlins, about how we can continue to adapt that to help them deliver that superior employee experience and hence the superior fan experience.
Right, end-to-end, core to edge, all the data to the right people at the right time. All right, I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there. We've been listening to a sponsored BriefingsDirect discussion on how businesses are using the latest digital technologies to reimagine the employee experience and to even transform their operations and results. So a big thank you to our guests who've been here with Adam Jones, Senior Vice President of Strategy and Development for the Miami Marlins. Thank you so much, Adam.
My pleasure, Dana.
And also a big thank you to Tim Minahan, Executive Vice President of Strategy and Chief Marketing Officer at Citrix. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Dana. Always a pleasure.
And a big thank you as well to our audience for joining this BriefingsDirect Intelligent Workspaces discussion. I'm Dana Gardner, Principal Analyst at Inter Arbor Solutions, your host throughout this series of Citrix-sponsored BriefingsDirect discussions. Thanks again for listening, and do come back next time.